I want to introduce you to Aidelys Hernandez. She is a rock star, she is a superwoman, and she is a queen of creative exit strategies. Once she has a deal, she does whatever it takes to sell it. As a novation, wholesale, virtual, whatever you name it, she knows it all, and she's going to share with us. She's also investor. She flips properties. She can talk about it too. She's very experienced, very structured. I love her. So if I would need a real estate advice, I'll probably come to her.
So this is who I am. I started off as a real estate agent. I know there's a lot of real estate agents here. I did the residential thing for a long time, and real estate is my passion. I love everything real estate. I grew up in real estate almost because I started as a little baby. Residential real estate became a grind. So if you guys are just realtors and doing the grind, you understand that you think you're gonna have all this time freedom, and you really don't, because you're really servicing the client. So I had no weekends off for almost 4 years. I didn't take a day off. I was working buyers, I was working sellers. And then I thought to myself, like, there has to be a better way. And real estate investing was always something that kind of caught my attention, but I didn't know exactly what to do, the right steps to take, the right partnership. And then all the pieces came together. My business partner and I built our real estate investment company, and we've been able to do 6-figure deals, fix and flip, Airbnbs, we have rentals, and we've done a lot of cool stuff. And I'm really passionate to share with you guys all the things that we're doing. Today, I want to make it very value driven, because I listen to these presentations and I'm like, well, you know, you're telling me all the cool things that you're doing, but what's in it for me? What can I learn? My thing is sales. I am a sales nerd. Everything and anything sales, that's what I'm passionate about. So I want to ask you guys a question. What is the one word in real estate investing that real estate investors say the most on a daily basis? If you guys had to guess. What is it? Profit. Okay, that's a good one. What's another one?
Cash flow.
Cash flow, that's a good one. Okay. Okay, ARV, that's a really good one. So the one word, and I'm sure you guys will realize that every real estate investor says about 20 times a day, is the word deals. Deals, 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 deals. Deals. We want more deals, right? There's never enough deals. We're looking for deals. What I wanted to focus on today is, what is the one reason that you're not getting enough deals? So whether you are a new investor, right here we have a good range of people that are experienced, people that are starting out. This is always a challenge for everybody. If you're new, you want to get your first deal and it seems like impossible, right? Like that fruit, that forbidden fruit that you want to get and you just don't know how, right? If you have done 2 or 3 deals, if you're like me, you experience that high, because it is a high. It is the best high you can experience in the world when you can get a deal locked up and close it. So then you want more deals. How do I get more deals? Once you get a couple deals, then you're like, how do I scale this? And how do I build a business around it? So what's the reason you're not getting enough deals, right? And I'm gonna keep it very transparent with you guys and very real. It's either because you don't have a sales process, right? You're winging it. A lot of us are great at talking to people and we think that that's gonna translate into sales and closings. Well, it doesn't. You need to have a sales process. Or your sales process isn't great, right? We watched a couple videos. We saw Pace. We know Pace is the king of closing. We watched a couple of his videos and we're like, man, I'm gonna go close. But he has a lot of years on all of us and a lot more experience. Or you're a one-trick pony, right? You only understand wholesaling, or you only understand creative finance. You don't understand all the exit strategies that you have and how to leverage every single one so you can make money. So you haven't mastered all the available exit strategies. What's the solution? Having a clearly defined sales process, having a process to qualify leads quickly. We want to be efficient with our time. For those of you that are paying for marketing, you have cold call leads, inbound leads, you need to be able to qualify within 3 to 5 minutes to determine, is this a lead that I want to either meet with in person or have a longer conversation with? You're going to get really burnt out if you're spending 30 minutes on every single conversation and then it turns out it's not a deal. So we need to qualify leads and we need to master sales and negotiations. We need to be great salespeople. Whether you're just a fix and flipper and you're like, I hate talking to sellers, I don't like it, you're gonna need to negotiate with other investors, other wholesalers. You're gonna need to negotiate with realtors. So sales and negotiations in this business, you have to master it. So if you're telling yourself, I don't wanna learn sales, well, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. This is a sales business, so you have to learn it. And committing to sales trainings. I told you guys I'm a sales geek, so we do sales training in our office every single day, Monday through Friday. We take Saturdays and Sundays off. We do role plays and we do call reviews. So we're either practicing what we're gonna say or we're listening to our conversations. We treat it like sports. The sports game, I'm not a big sports girl, but you guys that watch football and things like that, the coaches will sit there and play the game and figure out strategies of how they can get better. That's how we treat our business. It's sales, but it's a game. We want to refine our process and get better because once we're on that conversation and that negotiation, it's game time. We don't want to practice with the seller on the phone. We want to make sure we have enough reps, enough practice so we can win and we can get that deal. So here are some quick ways we qualify leads, right? So we have a process where we qualify based on 4 main points. Urgency. Is the lead ready to sell? What is the urgency? And we ask a very straightforward question. We're looking for a property to buy this week, Mr. Seller. If we agree on price and terms, is this something you're ready to sell and move forward with today, right? Very straightforward as soon as we start the conversation, because then I'm gonna know, is this seller ready to go? Or is there something that's holding them back? And can I provide a solution? What are the most common kind of roadblocks is, I need to find another property, I need help with moving. As an investor, do we have solutions for all of that? Yes, we do. Melly over here is like, no, we don't. They can get the heck out of their house. We don't need to help them. So it's either, are you ready to sell, Mr. Seller, today? And if you're not, I need to figure out why. And if they're not ready and I can't provide a solution, I'm not gonna move the sale forward, I'm gonna follow up. I'd rather do that than spend days and days and days following up with a seller thinking I have a deal when they told you they weren't ready to sell. Woo, what's happening here? Distress, right? So is there a pain point? What are some of the most common ones? Divorce, probate, vacant property, tired landlord. So what is the reason that the seller is looking to sell, but then dive deeper into, I always tell my team, probate is just a situation, it's not the impact. So you need to dive deeper into how is the probate affecting them? Is it affecting them financially, emotionally, physically? If you can connect the situation with a pain point, then you can provide a solution and you can close. But a lot of us get excited, the property's vacant, I have a deal. No, vacant, it's just a situation. If there's no stress, no pain point, you have no solution, you cannot get a deal done. So you have to ask really great connecting questions and dive into what's really going on with the seller. Price, we qualify price very quickly. Is the seller at 90% of Zillow or lower? That means we're gonna qualify that lead and take it to a longer conversation. If they're over this estimate or under this estimate, we are gonna determine, okay, the seller's super unrealistic on price, but is there distress? So if the seller is unrealistic on price, but they're ready to sell, and there's distress, that's a lead that I'm gonna take to a longer conversation or meet with. Because we have found if there is enough distress and you can add enough value, the price becomes negotiable. But if you don't have those main 2, urgency and distress, you don't have a deal. And condition, right? What's the condition of the property? I put this as last because my goal in every conversation is to connect with sellers and build an emotional connection with them, understand what they're going through, so the property condition becomes irrelevant. That's almost like the last thing that I touch on in my conversations. So urgency, distress, price, and condition. Those are the main qualifiers. This is an idea of what our sales process looks like. So once I determine that this lead is a lead that I need to be talking to or meeting with, so we focus on these 7 things. Number 1, we want to set expectations. And expectations means, Mr. Seller, at the end of this conversation, I'm expecting a yes or a no. Or at the end of the appointment, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna look at the house. We're gonna go over what's going on, how I can help you. At the end of that appointment, I'm gonna have an offer for you, Mr. Seller. All I'm expecting is for you to give me a yes or a no. A lot of times we're scared to get a commitment from the sellers. But what really sucks is you drive in this traffic for 2 hours to meet with the seller, and then you get there and the expectations aren't clear and the seller's not ready to sign. So I'd rather be very firm in the beginning, and when I get there, get a yes or a no. Urgency and timeline. Again, we're touching on urgency. Are they ready to sell? Motivation, right? What's the situation? How is it impacting them? And what's their picture perfect scenario? Condition and mortgage. So we need to ask mortgage, monthly payments. A lot of us are sub-2 lovers. So it is a very uncomfortable question to ask in a sales process with a seller because we get a lot of pushback. That's none of your business. Why are you asking me that? So I have a really streamlined and clean way that I ask it where we don't get resistance, or if we do get resistance, it happens very little. You need all that information. Roadblocks. What is the reason? What has kept you guys from getting a deal, right? Roadblocks. The husband, the wife, the brother, the sister, the realtor, the attorney. So I'm gonna get ahead of that, and I'm gonna ask them, is there anyone that you need to talk to before making a decision on this? And I'm gonna ask again, is there an attorney? Is there a realtor? Is there a family member? So we have gone through every scenario and we've lost deals because of every scenario. Attorneys, if there's any attorneys here, I love you, but don't kill the deals, guys. Just let us win, please. So what am I gonna do is get ahead of it and handle the objection before it becomes an objection. So if I give my offer and the husband comes up, the wife comes up, the family member comes up, or the attorney, that means I failed during my first conversation. I need to know exactly what I'm up against before I give my offer. And then I'm gonna anchor. So we anchor in a very simple way. We do 50% of the estimate. When we're having a conversation with the seller, we've tried different ways to run numbers. The simplest way is 50% of the estimate. We gauge the seller's reaction and then we negotiate from there. So we set the anchor, not the seller. And then a commitment. Hey, Mr. Seller, once we review all the information and we have a final offer for you, are you ready to move forward with the paperwork today? So I'm not afraid to ask for a commitment because I'm not here to waste time. I'm here to get deals done. So if the seller gives me a no, I need to understand why. And until I get clarity, I'm not giving them my offer. Your offer is like your golden goose. You can't give it away. And then what else are we doing is we're giving 4 offers in every conversation. We're doing a cash offer first, then we're doing a novation offer, then we're doing a creative offer, and then we're doing a listing. So for those of you that are licensed, leverage your license. If it's not a cash offer, then it's gonna be a listing. We're doing that right now and we're leveraging every single lead. There is not a lead we can't close because we know there's a deal to be done in one of these. There's always a solution to the seller's problem. So this is an idea of what our checklist looks like for an offer. So we go over time frame, agenda, result, permission to say no, what it looks like to work with us. We go over motivation again so we could tie it back to our solution. So we do a summary of what the main pain points are before we give our number. So remember, guys, people make decisions emotionally, right? So we need to connect the emotion back to the solutions that we're providing. So if we're only telling the seller, oh, great, Mr. Seller, I can pay you 100K, and the seller wants 200K, you're not gonna win that battle because you're just doing it based off price. Versus if I can tell the seller, I have a full understanding of what they're going through, and these are all the solutions I'm gonna offer you, and here's the number to allow me to do that and give you that value, it's a different conversation because we're tying everything back together. After cash, if that doesn't work, we're gonna go into novation. Hey, Mr. Seller, we can give you a higher price with this option. We're gonna go into creative, and then listing is our last option. And then here it says, did they say yes, no? If they say no, we gotta handle those objections, and then we close. And the results, right? We all want results. Here are examples of how our team is doing more deals consistently, leveraging all exit strategies and making more money per deal. And I want all of you guys to be doing the same. There's nothing magical that we're doing. We just established what we needed to do to succeed in these conversations, and we, day in and day out, implement. So here's some case studies. So this is a fix and flip deal. We made $127,000. This one, we actually fixed and flipped it. It came in from a text message. It was an inherited property. We added a bathroom, on this one. This is the before, this is the after. So here, this was a deal that we tried to wholesale, and every wholesaler said, no, your numbers don't work. So if you have a deal and you believe in the deal, buy that deal for yourself and fix and flip it. No one believed in this deal. We got super low offers, and we made over 100K. So this is a deal we did in Tampa. So this is our biggest wholesale to date, 108,000. Luigi beat me with his 200K, but it's okay, Luigi, I'll catch up. It's coming. We actually did this one virtually. So a lot of the deals that we do are virtually. The property was in need of repairs. We sold it for $280. We made $108, so it was a 6-figure wholesale deal. Virtually, we never sell the property. We have a really great process for virtually wholesaling. So this is basically what the property looked like. Let me know if I'm running out of time, Yana. So this is a deal we double closed on. So it was a wholesale, but we actually closed on it. It was a referral. It was a joint venture deal that we got, and this is what the investor did with the deal. I love wholesaling because we make money, the seller makes money, and then our fix and flipper makes money, so everybody wins. Law of reciprocity. My English isn't that great, so. This is a novation, right? So everybody wants to know. Novation is like the sexy term, and everyone's like, novations, novations, novations. So there's different ways to do a novation. So all a novation is presenting a partnership to the seller. And there's different ways you could partner with the seller. So on this deal here on the left, what we did essentially is a wholesale in a way, is a wholesale novation where we agreed with the seller. We're gonna give them $250. We're gonna handle closing costs, repairs, if there's any commissions. We went ahead and listed the property, sold it to a finance buyer, and we made $40,000. So that's a very simple way to do a novation. You're giving the seller a number, you're handling all of the repairs, and then you're listing it. So it's wholesaling, but wholesaling to a finance buyer, pretty much. Now the second strategy, now this took a lot more time, a lot more money, and there's a higher risk. So with that second property, we gave the seller $69,000. We actually went in and fixed and flipped the property while the seller was still the owner. So we structured it where we told the seller, look, if we can give you $69,000, we can renovate this property. We'll sell it on the market. You keep your $69,000, we make our money back plus our investment. So this took a lot more risk because you're putting a lot of money. We spent a good amount of money on this one. So here's some pictures. This is one way to do a novation. We just took pictures, we listed it on the market. We did have to do some minor repairs on it, but nothing crazy. And then this is the other one where we actually went in and fixed and flipped. We did kitchen, bathrooms, demo, flooring. We did a full fix and flip. And the seller loves us. On both of these, the sellers absolutely love us. So subject 2, guys. Okay, now I have your attention. Sub 2. So we also do sub 2 deals. These deals we wholesale. You can wholesale sub 2 deals. So the first one, the seller made $300. On the second one, the seller made zero money. We made $11,000 on one deal and $5,000 in another one, and both of these we wholesaled. As you can see, the property doesn't need a lot of work. The seller was actually in foreclosure. She couldn't afford the payments anymore. We wholesaled it, and now the buyer is renting the property, and it was actually a good cash flowing sub 2. And this is a property where we bought the deed. I actually have to update the numbers because we actually already closed on this one. We gave the seller $6,000. The seller quick claimed the property to us, and then we went ahead and did a short sale with the property. This is a wholesale. So this is a wholesale essentially is where you're going in, you're buying a property, you're doing minimal work, and you're relisting it back on the market. So we made $30,000 on this one. And we also leverage, Airbnb and long-term rental, which is what everybody knows. It's not as sexy, but this property we have rented for $2,000, and the monthly revenue is around $3,100. We're actually doing rental arbitrage on this one. Airbnb reviews. This one is a traditional rental. So enough about us. I think I have a couple minutes left, and I want to show you guys how with real estate investing, not only we're creating impact for our company, but we're also creating impact for other people. We have an education community where we're teaching our students how to do exactly this. And I want to show you guys some of the wins. This is actually more rewarding for me than the deals that we've done, but I'll show you guys what our students are doing. So this is actually one of our community members. She's right over there. Beautiful Miss Sherez. So this was her first fix and flip deal, and she made $178,000. Stand up, mic drop for that one. She's over there. She's actually looking for more deals. She's on her 4th fix and flip, guys, so please send her all your deals. Success story. So here's Miss Sherez, beautiful Sherez with her newest flip. She's also investing in Airbnb right now. Here's the wire, guys, so you see we're not BSing you. Flip number 4. We got one of our community members who made $98K on a novation deal without ever closing on the property. More wins, more deals locked up, sub 2 deals. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Yana, for putting this together. So here's me. I want to leave you guys with value. I know I've talked a lot about sales, so if you scan that code, I'm going to give you guys access to all of the scripts that we use in our company, all of the resources that we use for marketing, absolutely everything. I believe in giving back. Go take the scripts, download them, start having the conversations. Here's my social media, Idelis_real estate. Follow me on Instagram and DM me sub2, and I'll set up a call to see whatever you guys are struggling with in your business, if I can add value and help you. So scan the QR code, DM me sub2, and we'll set up a call this week. Thank you guys.